Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I just finished watching Errol Spence versus Ghana's Emannuel Larte. And the first thing I want to say is going back to the Olympics, I think it was natural for most of us to think that the most talented person coming out of the 2012 Olympic team would most likely be Rasheed Warren, right? But now, after watching a few more Errol Spence's fights and Rasheed Warren's fights, I'm starting to truly believe that Errol Spence is the most talented and he has the most promising future when it comes to the 2012 Olympic team. Let me explain why. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to Rasheed Warren, he's still one of the future best, okay? I mean, Rasheed Warren, he still has more natural athleticism than Errol Spence, and he's a little bit more explosive. But saying that, I believe that Errol Spence is more of a complete fighter. I believe that he's a little bit more well-rounded. I believe he's making the transition over from amateur to pro a little bit more smoother than Rasheed Warren is, at least at this point. Like I said, things could be different a year from now, but from this point, this is how I see it. You know, I was really impressed with a lot of things that Errol Spence was doing in the ring against an undefeated fighter from Ghana that had almost twice the amount of fights that Errol Spence had. And the guy came to win. So not only is it impressive that he beat a guy like that, but it's also impressive to see that Errol Spence is obviously also on the fast track, you know, when you compare him to all the other fighters from, once again, the 2012 Olympic team, including Rasheed Warren. If you notice, Rasheed Warren, he opened up this card, this Golden Boy card, and Rasheed Warren was still fighting a 4-rounder, and Errol Spence is already fighting a 6, or was it actually, it was an 8-rounder, right? So he's fighting an 8-rounder against a very good undefeated prospect, because you could basically say that Larte was a prospect. He wasn't just an opponent. He was an undefeated prospect. And this is what makes the victory so impressive when it comes to Errol Spence. He, like I said, once again, he was fighting a guy who was coming to win. He did a lot of impressive things, Errol Spence did. You know, I always talk about fighters that cannot fight on the inside. All right, Errol Spence, he can fight on the inside. He can fight on the inside. He can box. He can move side to side, lateral movement. He showed that he could take a good punch, because in the 3rd round, he got caught with a good one. And then in a couple rounds later, he got caught with another good left hook, I believe. I think both of the punches were left hooks, but don't remember exactly. I know he got caught with 2 good shots in that fight. And I was really impressed how he kept his composure when he got caught. He never changed his game plan. He never looked like he was losing confidence. Like I said, some undefeated fighters, they step up in competition and they buckle under pressure. And a lot of times they're not even fighting an undefeated fighter. They're not even fighting a prospect. They're just fighting a tougher guy with a little bit of a better record. He may still have 3-4 losses, but he's just a little bit tougher. All right? And they buckle under pressure. Errol Spence, he didn't buckle under pressure. He rise to the occasion in this fight, and I like what I saw. You know, it seems like he has a complete set of tools. He goes to the body very well for a young fighter. And, you know, this is something a lot of young fighters don't do. A lot of young fighters, they develop a bad habit of doing a lot of head hunting. So Spence, he already understands as a young fighter how important it is to go to the body. All right? Like I said, he has a great Olympic pedigree. He's sparring with Floyd Mayweather, been sparring with Adrian Broner. There's even rumors that Errol Spence knocked out Adrian Broner in sparring. You know, no one wants to basically speak on it, but we just leave it as a rumor right now. But he's been sparring with some good fighters. And, you know, I haven't seen him spar with Floyd Mayweather yet. I look forward to seeing it eventually. But I've heard good stuff when it comes to Errol Spence sparring with Broner and Floyd Mayweather. You know, when it comes to Errol Spence sparring with pound for pound the best fighter in the world, Floyd Mayweather, it kind of reminds me of when Floyd Mayweather used to spar with Pernell Whitaker. I remember Floyd Mayweather, actually, before he went to the Olympics, he was working with Pernell Whitaker before and after, I believe, actually. But at the time when Pernell Whitaker was considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world, Floyd Mayweather was sparring with him. And we've seen how Floyd Mayweather turned out. Not saying that Errol Spence is the next Floyd Mayweather, but I'm just saying when it comes to, you know, the similarities and sparring with the best fighters in the world and making your own mark, and also both fighters having an Olympic pedigree, let's just say both Floyd Mayweather and Errol Spence, they have a lot in common right now. So anyway, like I said, I'm very impressed with Errol Spence so far, and I really look forward to seeing him continue to develop as a professional. And obviously I'll be making more videos as I see more of Errol Spence. So that's all I got on this one, guys. I'm on to the next one.